Hi guys, it has been quite a while since I've come on here and talked about any books I've read. So today, instead of a normal little wrap up, I mean, it's still kind of a wrap up, but it's been of basically the past 2 months. So just kind of a recent reads, what I have been reading these past 2 months. All right, we're going to start out with one though that I just forgot about, I think, in all of my past wrap ups. I had completely forgotten to put that I finished it on Goodreads or anything like that. And I finished it quite a while ago, like probably in February or March. So we're going to start with that one. And that was The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. I had been reading this for a very long time. I took it very, very slow. I often take it slower with nonfiction, but there are certain authors that I'm all the slower with because I really just want to dive in and soak everything in, and A.W. Tozer is definitely one of those authors for me. I feel like almost every single sentence in this kind of felt like, or paragraph felt like a sermon almost. It was like, wow, there's just so much here. So I ended up reading almost the first half of this in my paperback version. This is my husband's, and writing in the margins. And I was reading that around the time my father passed. And so I think it was just hard for me to pick back up the physical book. So I switched over to a library ebook of it and finished it up that way. It's definitely one that I want to come back to and finish all the highlighting and stuff and writing in the margins, because there's just so much richness is a good way to put it in this book. So I definitely would recommend it to any and everyone, Christians in particular, obviously. Again, this was a while ago, so it's not that recent and on my mind. I just somehow forgot to announce anywhere that I finished reading it, but I did. So all right, and then I'm not sure if this is going to be in order. I'm going to try my best to kind of group them in order semi, but I believe the next one that I did read and finish up was Scarlet. This is by Marissa Meyer, and this is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. This is a sci-fi fairy tale retelling YA series. So I'm honestly having a lot of fun with it, and I really enjoyed it. Even though I was kind of slumpy when reading it, I still really enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of like a chunker, and I got through it. So I read this one in April, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I don't have too overly much to say. I really enjoyed the Scarlet storyline. And it just where the story is heading, the direction, and all the things that are happening, plot line. I'm so very intrigued about the next one. So I am excited to get my hands on it when I can and to continue reading in the series. All right. So, another one that I finished up, which I can't remember exactly when I did, but that was A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis. This was one of my Christian nonfiction book club picks. I should really I should just have a set name that I call that book club. But anyway, this was one of our picks for that book club. And I think I actually finished it a day late or something, but I did finish it. It was okay. I think I only gave this one a 3.25 stars. This is C.S. Lewis's grief on his wife, losing his wife. So it is very specific in a lot of ways to spousal grief. And I've gone through a lot of grief and a lot of different grief, but praise the Lord, I have not had to have that grief. My heart goes out to anybody who has, but just because of some of the specifics being very specified to that, I clearly could not relate to everything. And this also is C.S. Lewis being very overwhelmed by his grief and almost letting it out on God and being mad at God and kind of losing his faith in God for a little bit. So it can be a little bit harder to read, I think, because of that. So just a fair warning. But I have not found a read by him yet that I've just like hated or anything, but this was just not one. And that was particularly for me, but I did enjoy the version that I read from my library. It did have a little section from his son with that wife, and he kind of gave a little bit of an explanation around some stuff, and I think that did help me to enjoy it a little bit more. That kind of just expounding upon here's like what's going on and why this type of thing. And there was also another woman who did maybe like a forward or something. I can't remember exactly, but she had like a little bit of a note too. And she also had some grief, and she made some like very good points, I felt like. And a lot of what she said I related to also, because I couldn't relate in the exact same way with a lot of his grief, but there is a lot of like broader statements of grief and certain things that I think we can all like agree on that like Lewis brings to light and touches on. So yeah, I did finish that one up. If anyone was curious who like knew that I was reading that forever ago for my book club, I did read that and finish that. So the next book I actually read with my husband, and we read this together. It was The Total Money Makeover. I believe we read this throughout some of March, and I think we finished it up kind of end of April type of time frame. So we were reading this together. This is by Dave Ramsey. If you don't know, he is like a financial counselor, advisor, like talk show host. He's got a whole thing. And we had already read this. We were going through it again. So, very good read. Highly recommend for everyone. He has some really great tips on and just like his whole program. It's very helpful if you want financial freedom, if you want help budgeting and like need a new perspective, whatever it is. Like, it is very good. And he is a Christian, so a lot of his stuff does come back to a biblical based foundation to begin with. And so that's definitely something that I enjoy, and I love that as like a little extra add in. But yeah, so I don't remember if I rated this or not, or if I even put that I was reading it anywhere, but really enjoyed the book. I'd probably be like a 4.75 stars or whatnot. Like, there's very little that I disagree with him on in this particular book. So, pretty solid read. All right. And then next, I read Love and Other Chances by Tracy Bach. This is the second book in a little series by her. The first book is Love and Other Goals, which was my favorite book of last year. So this is a clean romance book, and the first one was like a college romance. This one is not a college romance, but still has some like college setting, because the character in this, which is from the girls' friend group from the first one, Tegan, she is working at a college and a campus ministry for the majority of the book. So it still has some of those aspects, but it is not a college romance like the first one was. So it's a little bit different. It's like a good few years into the future from the first one, and it's covering a different one of the friends. It is a second chance romance. Honestly, it was really, really cute. I really enjoy Tracy's writing. She's one of my favorite authors, and it does gosh, I'm trying to think of how to say this. I was honestly kind of back and forth when reading through most of this, because I really thought this might end up being a 5-star. There was a lot of things that I just like loved and was just giggling and so excited over, and then there were other parts that I wasn't as engrossed or into it as I was with Love and Other Goals, and so I was like, well, is this a 5-star? Well, towards the end, there was something that definitely made it come down for me. I think I ended up landing at like 4.25 or 4.5 for this overall, and it was because of the way this author dealt with divorce. Um, and this is just like, this is definitely one of my pet peeves, I think, because I see and hear this a lot by people, and I don't think it's the correct response from a Christian. Um, so, Tegan's parents are divorced, and this divorce is not said to have come from anything like other than we just fell out of love or whatever, that type of thing. So, first off, they're supposed to be Christian, but that's not grounds for a biblical divorce. And I also don't like the phrase biblical divorce because to me God is very clear about the fact that divorce should never be a thing, and he only made stipulations because of how wicked and deprived we were, and seeing like how bad and everything, that okay, only in these extreme circumstance type of thing. And so when people just throw around that type of stuff all the time, but this wasn't even one of those. They just, oh, fell out of love. And they bring that into the story, especially towards the end. And spoilers if you don't want to know, but her father does get with someone else, and he's planning to like marry someone else. And I'm like, well, he is an adulterer and he's making her an adulteress according to the Bible. And you are a Christian. So you should know this, and this should not be praised. And she tried to kind of bring it in, and she tried to like use a like Jesus analogy thing to say that it was fine, and that the daughter just needed to like, you know, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it bothered me so much. I was like, that's not biblical though. So I know a lot of people might be mad at me about this. If you're upset, go look at what your Bible says about divorce, please. And just go look at what your Bible says about divorce. Talk to your pastor and eldership about it, because it's not that. So, yes, there's forgiveness and everything from Christ, but I just didn't like how we just scooted over the whole fact that it was very unbiblical in the first place, and we're just going to ignore that and go get married to somebody else. Like, okay. Um, so that brought down my rating a little bit. And I feel really bad saying that and talking about that because I love this author and I'm still very interested in her books, but I did not enjoy the way that she dealt with that particular thing towards the end. So sorry, Tracy. I still love the book and I still love you, and but yeah, it's still a very cute book and very good and it's adorable. So let's move on so I can stop rambling. All right, so the next book I actually finished, and I had been so close to finishing for a while, but I finished right here at the end of the month of May on sprints. So thank you, ladies, for motivation. And the first one I finished was Toxic Empathy by Allie Beth Stuckey. This is How Progressives Exploit Christian Compassion. So this was our May and June book of the month, or months. It's not really a book of a month if I do it over 2 months. A book club book. And I am doing a study at church that involves another book over June and July. So I was like really trying to get this one done just in May so that I wouldn't have to double up for both of those months, that type of thing. So I did finish it. I very much enjoyed it. I took lots of highlights and underlining. I was trying to see if I could show you here. Like, I get very creative when it comes to nonfiction. I write and highlight and draw and scribble all over the place. So, very much enjoyed it. Allie Allie Beth Stuckey does have a podcast. She does have a podcast, I believe, like on YouTube and Spotify and stuff like that, where she kind of like talks about political issues, I think, through like a biblical worldview. I think that's like the premise. This book came out last year, I believe. And basically, it goes over 5 lies that the world tells and that we're dealing with in society. And those lies are abortion is healthcare, trans women are women, love is love, no human is illegal, and social justice is justice. And she combats all those lies and talks about it from this is what the world is saying and this is what God's word says. And it's very simple and straightforward, and I think she does a pretty good job. So I gave this a 4.5 stars. I very much enjoyed it. If you're looking for something like that, it's a very short book, pretty quick read. It is like under 200 pages. I think it's about 160. So very well done. Very much enjoyed it. Excited to talk more about it with my book club girls. And then the final book that I read up to this date is Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. So Pepper Basham is a Christian author, and this is not my first book by her. I actually read her new book, Some Like It Scott, in April. Yeah, I think in April. So wasn't like my favorite, but I liked a lot of things about it because of my Scottish heritage. But Authentically Izzy, on the other hand, this is a series, and it follows kind of like these cousin siblings. And the first one is about Izzy. And so I've heard a lot of like back and forth things about this one, guys. A lot of people who love and adore this book, like absolutely all out, full out, obsessed with the book, with the series. And then some people who were like, I don't get it, I don't like it, on Christian BookTube here. So there's like, I feel like there's a good little mix of this, and I know a lot of people were very interested. Where was Katri? The unpopular opinion most of the time. The sassy unpopular opinion, I should say. Where's she gonna fall? Is she gonna hate this? Is she gonna love this? Like, and guys, I really, really loved it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I'm wonder like I was wondering throughout it if I wasn't in such a slump, if I haven't been having such a hard time reading, if this might have been a 5 star. Because sometimes I kind of thought that it could be, but I just don't know. Right now, I'm giving it a 4.5 stars though. I really enjoyed it. Guys, I love all bookish things. I love quotes. I'm obsessed with quotes, especially. And that's something they love to do in the book, is they love to like quote things. I also love musicals, all things Broadway, theater. Love it. Grew up a theater nerd. So conversations with her cousin Penelope, who's really into the theater and stuff. I loved it. Like, I was getting such a good mix of just so many things I loved. I knew the majority of most all of the references in the book, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm going to take it as such, but I just really enjoyed it. It definitely did hit my kind of sense of humor for most of the time. I think there were a few things that like were supposed to be funny, but I wasn't like finding as funny. But a lot of the things, it was like my sense type of humor. So I'm definitely like excited for Positively Penelope, the second one, because like I said, I love theater. So I'm very much intrigued by her story, especially. So yes, I definitely think I will continue with it. And I did like this one. I have heard some controversy on whether or not this is cheating or not. Okay. And I kind of wanted to touch on that and just give my thoughts, my little thought on it. So that was one of the reasons why I was worried, because some people I had heard said it's kind of cheating in this book. So after reading it, I don't think it was. I really don't think it was. And I'm very particular and very much against like cheating, and I hate any type of cheating tropes or anything near it. But I felt like the way that this was done, it wasn't cheating. Because first off, she's only talking to the guy online for quite a while. And then the other one she's seeing in person, but they haven't like solidified anything or said anything, right? And then she makes very clear to the one in person, yeah, no, before meeting the other guy. So, anyway, sorry, more microphone problems. To me, there was a clear enough timeline of everything, of cutting things off, of meeting in person, that I felt like it wasn't cheating. Like, yeah, I felt like it wasn't. I mean, I can kind of see, because I definitely thought for a bit that they might go there. I did think, especially with hearing that the author was going to go there, because I felt like it kind of got close. But then I think she clearly drew a line before it got crossed. Like, like the line's already there, but like she clearly whatevered in the sand and she didn't cross it. It's just she was starting to get close and everybody was kind of sitting here wondering, what's she doing? That type of thing. That's kind of what I felt like was going on. But then I felt like she stopped. So that's just my personal opinion. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But that's personally what I thought on it, as one person who doesn't like cheating trope type stuff or things that get too close. Like, the way it was done, I didn't feel like it got too close, even though it kind of made me wonder for a second, is it going to do that? So, those are my thoughts. That is everything I've read recently. I don't think I've left anything out. I am currently reading many things still. I'm still trying to get through the second book in the Wing Feather series. That has been such slow going for me because I keep forgetting that I'm reading it. I would say pregnancy brain, but I was forgetting I was reading that book before I got pregnant. So what can I blame that on? Anyway, along with that, a book that I'm going to be reading with my church is Disciplines of a Godly Woman. I cannot remember who it is by, and I do not have it with me right now, but I'm going to be starting that up and reading that through June and July probably. And then, oh my gosh, what else am I reading? One book that I have been reading and I haven't picked up in a while, I've tried to pick it up a couple times, is oh gosh, what was it called? The Sam book. The Call Sam or something. I'll put it up here or something. I am seriously considering just DNFing this, guys. What do you guys think? Like, I've tried to pick it up a couple times. I feel like it might just be too YA for me and it's just not gripping enough. So I might DNF this one. I don't know. So I am reading that though. And is there anything else? Oh, I am almost done reading. I'm like, my mind. I've been reading started Narnia with my girls. So The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is what we started with. I know some people will disagree with that. That is just how my mom started for us when we were kids. We've read it both ways, both reading ways, but when we were youngest, she started with that one. I just think we like all engaged better reading it through that way. So that's just kind of how I'm starting it with my girls too. You want to have fighting comments about it? Go ahead. Doesn't matter to me. Go ahead and fight about it. But yeah, so we have like 2 or 3 chapters left of that, and then we're going to be moving on to Prince Caspian after that. So been really enjoying that, but we are almost done with that one. So am I reading anything else right now? No, I need to pick up another book. I probably just need to DNF the one, and I need to pick up another book. And yeah, I really need to get to reading because I have not been reading well, guys. So please motivate me, hype me up in the comments. Let me know out of like my out of my TBR, like what I've talked about in this last video, and then even the one previously, because I haven't read like at least half of those still. If there's one in particular you guys like really want me to read, like let me know. Try to like motivate me to pick it up, please. And I will talk to you guys hopefully soon. Hopefully, it won't take as long to make another video. But I hope you guys have a lovely day and a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.